What is up, guys? It's Nine19 here with my Legend of Korra Book 3 review. How my season reviews go is that I pretty much talk about how well the season did. So it's pretty much going to go down the same as my episode reviews. I'm going to do a recap, give you my overall rating, some discussion of the things that happened throughout this season, and then right down to my top 10 episodes, moments, and characters. So let's get started with that recap. This season picks up 2 weeks after the last. Spirits have called Republic City their home. President Raiko is displeased with the vines and blames Korra for it. At Air Temple Island, Bumi airbends in an effort to save his life, and he isn't the only new airbender. After saving the frightened airbender, Korra is exiled from Republic City.
I order you to leave this city. You've caused nothing but trouble since you arrived.
Korra then decides to go look for all the new airbenders and bring back the Air Nation. In a prison, a mysterious man named Zahir frees himself thanks to airbending and declares it's a new age.
The end of the White Lotus, and soon, the end of the Avatar.
Team Avatar begins their search for airbenders. No one wants to join at first until they come across Kai, who is revealed to be a thief. Korra decides to take Kai in instead of the authorities taking him away. Zahir is able to free his fellow friends, Ghazan and Minghua, while Team Avatar searches for the airbenders. The news about Zahir's escape comes to Lord Zuko, who heads to the North Pole to stop the fourth criminal from being freed. Team Avatar looks for airbenders in Ba Sing Se. However, the Earth Queen lies to Korra about any new airbenders. Mako and Bolin meet their extended family, which they reveal that the Earth Queen is taking all the airbenders in Ba Sing Se and enlisting them into her army. Kai is later captured by Dai Li agents after he was spotted airbending. Zahir, Ghazan, and Minghua free the fourth criminal, Pali, a combustion bender, and a love interest for Zahir, from prison. Mako and Bolin tell Korra the news, and Team Avatar plans to free the airbenders until Lin shows up, telling Tenzin that Zahir and his criminals are out. Tenzin tells Korra that these criminals tried to kidnap her when she was a little girl. However, during their time in jail, they never revealed their intentions. Team Avatar frees the airbenders, who all decide to go with Tenzin to rebuild the Air Nation. Korra, Mako, Bolin, Asami, and Lin learn of an airbender in Zaofu, home of the Metal Clan. The matriarch of the clan, Su Yin, is Lin's half-sister, and the airbender, Opal, is Su's daughter and Lin's niece. In Republic City, Zahir goes undercover at Air Temple Island in search for the Avatar. His cover is blown by Kaya. The two fight, however, Zahir is able to flee with the Guru Lahima locket. Lin goes to an acupuncturist, revealing that Su was in part of a criminal act when she was younger. Lin tries to stop her, but Su cuts the line, giving Lin the scar on her cheek. Soon, Lin's mom, Toph, decides to cover up the report and sends Su off to live with her grandparents. Lin leaves, saying she needs to do something she should have done a long time ago. In Republic City, Zahir and his crew are able to flee the city. Su teaches Korra how to metal bend, and Bolin tells Opal that he always wanted to metal bend, but couldn't. Bolin finally decides to learn metal bending from Opal's mom. However, Lin shows up and begins to tell her sister what's on her mind. Lin and Su get into an altercation. However, Opal is able to stop the two. Lin passes out and wakes up the next day, resolving her conflict with Opal and with Su. Meanwhile, Zahir is able to find where Korra is.
She's with the Metal Clan.
Up at the Northern Air Temple, Tenzin struggles to teach the new airbenders about the air nomad culture. Tenzin takes Korra's advice to take Bumi's advice on how to lead the airbenders. Tenzin then becomes a ruthless instructor, resulting in Bumi quitting and an infuriated Jinora after being told that she couldn't get her airbending tattoos. Kai and Jinora are kidnapped by bison rustlers, and all the airbenders rally to save the two. Bumi apologizes to Tenzin, and Tenzin tells his daughter that someday she will get her tattoos. Back in Zaofu, Zahir and his gang kidnap Korra but fail in the process. Everyone begins searching for the traitor who helped Zahir get in Zaofu. It is later revealed that Aiwei, Su's trusted advisor, is the traitor. Aiwei escapes, and Korra insists that they follow him. Lin disagrees, and Su supports her sister. However, Su tells Korra to find Aiwei and bring him back to her. Out in the Misty Palms Oasis, Team Avatar finds Aiwei and stake out his room, hoping for him to lead them to Zahir. Korra loses her patience and enters the room, revealing that Aiwei is meeting Zahir in the spirit world. Korra spots Aiwei and Zahir. Zahir later throws Aiwei in the Fog of Lost Souls and confronts Korra. Zahir tells Korra that he is part of a secret organization. Zahir tells Korra that Unalaq wanted to kidnap her when she was a little kid and manipulate her into serving their cause. However, Unalaq betrayed them by not coming with them the night of the kidnap and destroyed all evidence, leaking him to the Red Lotus. Zahir is able to communicate with his friends in this physical world and tells them that Korra is at the Misty Palms Inn. Ghazan and Minghua head over there. Mako and Bolin try to hold him off while Asami flees with Korra's body. In the spirit world, Zahir tells Korra that the Red Lotus's true mission is to restore balance to the world by eliminating the world's leaders and governments. Zahir returns to the physical world, and so does Korra, revealing that the Earth Queen's forces captured her and Asami for freeing the Airbenders back in episode 4. Mako and Bolin are also captured by the Red Lotus, and the two are taken with them to Ba Sing Se, where Zahir kills the Earth Queen. Korra and Asami are about to be handed over to the Earth Queen. However, Korra and Asami are able to free themselves but crash the ship in the desert. Korra and Asami and the entire crew repair the ship, only for it to be destroyed, create a sand sailor, and flee the giant sand shark. Korra arrives back at the Misty Palms Oasis where her dad, Lord Zuko, and Lin are, and learns that the Earth Queen died. Mako and Bolin are freed from prison by Zahir and tells them that he needs him to tell Korra that he's going to wipe out the entire Air Nation if Korra doesn't hand herself over to him. Korra is able to tell Tenzin about Zahir's plans, however Zahir arrives. Tenzin fights Zahir while the Airbenders flee the temple. The Airbenders are unable to flee, and Tenzin is defeated when the Red Lotus gang up on him. On their way to the Northern Air Temple, Korra tells Zahir to free the Airbenders because she plans to hand herself over. However, Zahir tells Korra to come on the top of Lahima's peak and then he will free the Airbenders. Suyin devises a plan that will allow Korra and the Airbenders to walk out in one piece. The plan later backfires, revealing that the Airbenders aren't there. Kazan buries the temple in lava and Bolin saves Mako, Asami, and Tenzin by lava bending. Korra is taken by Zahir with his new ability of flight and reveals that he plans to kill her in the Avatar state, ending the Avatar cycle. Zahir's plan backfires as Korra enters the Avatar state and overpowers the Red Lotus. Team Avatar is able to free the Airbenders. Korra fights Zahir and is nearly killed until Jinora and the Airbenders come to her rescue. Zahir is defeated, Korra passes out but is revived thanks to Su. 2 weeks later, Korra is in a wheelchair due to the effects of the poison. At Jinora's ceremony, Tenzin tells everyone that the Airbenders will serve people of all nations for the time being. Jinora is given the title of an airbending master, and Korra sheds a tear. So, my overall rating, if you go back to all of my episode reviews and collect all of my ratings for those episodes, add them all together, divide them by 13, you get 8.77. But watching the second time, I gave some episodes a bit of a higher rating, gave some of them a lower rating, so it comes out to an 8.89 out of 10. However, personally, what I think that this season did amazing compared to book 1 and 2, so I'm giving it a 10. The reason why I'm giving it a 10 is because of the story that they were following this season. You know, Korra pretty much left the spirit portals open, which does in fact change the world. The whole world goes through this big spiritual change, and especially I like the fact that Zahir's crew is pretty much trying to change the world and return everything into its natural order, which is disorder, by eliminating the world's leaders and governments. So I really like that kind of story right there. And on to character development, which I will touch in a bit in my top 10 characters. I really love the character development this season. You know, Korra, she's changed a lot. Bolin, he got a more serious story arc this season. And many others that I can't really mention right now. But as for animation, animation was outstanding. If you go back to one of my episode reviews, I think for The Ultimatum, I was talking about how the animation has really improved. Book 1 was okay. Book 2 seemed a bit anime-ish. But animation book 3, it was all done by Studio Mir. They really did a great job. The way everything looks, landscapes and stuff like that. I go into way more detail in my episode review for The Ultimatum, so go check that out. And as for death this season, they really weren't playing around with this at all. I mean, you know, everybody was getting these moments of near death. Korra's dad, Lin, you know, the Earth Queen had died. Tenzin, you know, he thought he was gonna die. Avatar: The Last Airbender, little kids can watch that, you know, 6 to maybe 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, even some older kids like the teenagers, they could watch that show. But now Legend of Korra is more of a teenager show right now. It's not much for the 6 to 9-year-olds. So they're pretty much pushing this, the fact that Avatar, The Legend of Korra isn't for little kids anymore. It's more for the older audience. So now onto my top 10 episodes. Starting with number 10, I'm gonna read my original rating when I first saw the episode, and then I'm gonna give you my revised rating when I saw the episode when book 3 had ended. I'm not gonna go into much detail as to why I like the episode, because I go into detail about that in my episode reviews, so you should go check that out. But primarily I'm not doing that because of there wasn't really much change in the ratings for the first 6 episodes, but my last 4 episodes, which are my favorites, I will go into detail as to why I gave those episodes a higher rating or lower rating. So starting with number 10, Old Wounds. Originally I gave it an 8, and then when I watched it the second time, I gave it an 8 still. Number 9, A Breath of Fresh Air. I gave it a 9 the first time, 9 when I saw it again. Number 8, Rebirth. Gave it a 9 the first time, second time, still gave it a 9. Number 7, Original Airbenders. Original rating and revised rating are both 9s. Same with number 6, The Stakeout. I gave it a 9 the first time, and still gave it a 9 when I watched it the second time. The Terror Within, number 5, still gave it a 9 when I watched it the second time, and originally I gave it a 9. Now on to number 4, The Ultimatum. Originally I gave it a 10, but I boosted it down to a 9.5. The reason why is because I gave this episode way too much praise when it shouldn't have. The reason I gave it a 10, first of all, is because of the last 7-8 minutes of that episode. And I realized that those 7-8 minutes don't really defy the entire episode as a whole. There is the fact that the first couple of minutes, I think 12, maybe 13 minutes, were just Mako and Bolin trying to get out of Ba Sing Se and Korra trying to relay that message to Tenzin. So it was a bit of a drag there, but we did get to see Zuko handing Korra some advice as to what Aang would do, but still, it was a bit of a drag. So I'm giving it a 9.5 when I watched it the second time. Number 3, Venom of the Red Lotus. Originally, I gave it an 8.5, and when I watched it the second time, I'm giving it a 9.5. Reason why I gave it an 8.5 is because I was being a little too harsh on the season finale. When I watched it the first time, I was having this mindset as, oh, this is the last season finale where we're looking upon another book coming out. So I was really being depressed when I was watching this season finale, and it did give some depressing tone, but if I look beyond that depressing tone when I watched it the second time, it was a really great episode. We got so much action, we sort of got a cliffhanger onto the next book, so it was a great book, a great finale for Korra, the best finale by far. Number 2, In Harm's Way. Originally I gave it a 9.5, and the second time I watched it I gave it a 10 because it was a really great episode. The plot never dragged. It was very interesting to watch. This is like one of these episodes where you can go back and watch it like whenever. It's a fun, adventurous episode. Number 1, Enter the Void. Originally I gave it a 9. Watching it a second time I gave it a 10 because like In Harm's Way, this was a very exciting, action-packed episode. It was very adventurous. Korra fighting Zahir while Pali fights the Metal Clan, and Mako, Bolin, Asami, and Tenzin trying to flee the temple with all that lava coming at them. So it was a really, really great episode before the finale. So now it's top 10 characters. This one's going to be a bit longer because I'm going to be talking about character development. So number 10, Jinora. I didn't find her character much interesting this season, just because like in the previous season, book 2, she got a bit more indulging like story arc because with the fact that they're spirits, she's more spiritually connected, and now in this book, her whole story arc was being an airbending master, even though that wasn't really addressed until episode 7. And then when she saved Korra in the season finale, she was given that title. So that seemed it didn't seem looked upon much this book. I mean, you can go back to book 2 and see how much of an airbender she is, but if you're watching book 3 without watching book 2 and 1, you really want to know how well Jinora is as an airbender. Number 9, Su Yin. A bit disappointed on how her character turned out because everybody was thinking that she was working with Zahir, and it turned out that she wasn't. But other than that, I really like her character. She's a really chill person, and the fact that Lin hates her so much for something, and Sue, she loves her, but she's being super chill with the fact that Lin is being very angry with her. Number 8, Kai. Not much to say about Kai here. You know, the fact that he was a thief in the beginning of this season to the end of the season when he's a better person now. You know, it's kind of Mike and Brian showing us that, you know, even though the world has changed, people have changed too. Not only gaining new abilities, but also their personality, their persona. Number 7, Lin. Now, it does seem a bit, you know, unfair to add these main characters on the show. You know, I even added Jinora on top 10, but you know, there are going to be other main characters, and they're going to be based on how they changed this season. So Lin is number 7 because, you know, we got that good story arc of hers. You know, her character development hasn't really changed much, but you know, if we had known that the reason she was always grumpy was because of her sister or probably other things, you know, we could say that her character development has changed. But this is pretty much just a story arc, the way they were telling, they gave Lin this story this season. Number 6, Pali. Not much character development here because she's new, but we didn't get much of a story off of her. You know, at the very end of book 3, you know, she was telling Zahir that she was thanking him for rescuing her when she was just a little girl from that warlord. She's a really cool character. I really like combustion benders. Number 5, Zahir, the big bad of this season. His demeanor, the way he appeared to look this season did throw me off on his true intentions. You know, I thought that, you know, he wasn't into this whole philosophy kind of thing. You know, I didn't think of him to be an airbending fanatic just by the way he looked in that first episode, you know, with all of his hair and stuff. And I really do like his hair. I wish he never shaved his head off because it looks a bit weirder with his head shaved. But you know, the way he looked when we first saw him, you know, I wasn't even thinking that he was just gonna be an anarchist or believe in anarchy. But, you know, it pretty much shows that to not judge a book by its cover, pretty much. Number 4, Zuko. His character development was in Avatar: The Last Airbender, so I'm not touching on that. I'm just touching on the fact that he was here. We saw some action of him. You know, we also saw how wise he is and how, you know, he's really helped change the world in his time, and how he's trying to change the world now. He's trying to help the Avatar defeat the Red Lotus. Number 3, Tenzin. Not much character development here. I mean, well, he was a major character this season, you know, trying to rebuild the Air Nation, his father's true dream, but that really isn't much of character development. That's more of like a desire or a thing that he had wanted this season. If you want to go to Tenzin for character development, you would have to go to book 2, because he really has a lot of cool character development plots there, and even in book 1 too. But, you know, book 3, it was just showing how he can help change the world, even though his father had died, and it was his dream to bring back the air culture. Number 2, Bolin. His story arc this season, not character development, his story arc this season was really great. I really liked it. You know, Bolin has always been comic relief, but, you know, now he's gotten a more serious tone. You know, the fact that he wanted to know how to metal bend, but in reality he had the potential to lava bend, so that was really great. And number 1, it does seem a bit unfair to add her to my number 1 list, but, you know, I'm basing this off of character development. Number 1 character this season, Korra. Back in book 1, she was a bit headstrong. Book 2, headstrong still, but a bit edgier. Book 3, she's still headstrong, but, you know, she's more wiser now. Like, even in the season premiere, she had said that with all this power and responsibility, that everybody's looking onto me, that I should be more wiser now. You know, we're really seeing that, you know. For an example, in the spirit world, when you know, Zahir and Korra were in Jaibao's Grove, you know, when Zahir was telling her his plans of eliminating the world leaders, Korra was trying to calm him down, you know, trying to reason with him. You know, as an airbender, he can resolve to a more peaceful conflict, or a better way of resolving these conflicts. You know, he's more knowledgeable, that knowing that he has known so much about the air culture. And even though that didn't work. She was pretty much jumped to the headstrong avatar of, forget this, I'm just gonna kick your butt. But she's really been a great character this season. I really liked her a lot. And now into my top 10 moments. Number 10, the fall of Ba Sing Se. Animation in that particular scene in episode 11 was spot on. Number 9, Zahir and Korra's conversation in Jaibao's Grove in episode 9. Really like this moment. We finally find out what Zahir's up to and his plans, and I really like how they did it. That sit down in the spirit world. Zahir's telling Korra everything she wants, and then back in the physical world, Zahir has his Red Lotus friends to kidnap her body. Number 8, the Red Lotus frees Pali. I really like this action scene in episode 4. It was really great. The coloring and animation and stuff like that, how they freed her, and everything was just great. Number 7, the action sequences in episode 12. If anything, I could just say that I liked the entire episode as a whole. That was my favorite moment, because it was pretty much consisted of the action scenes. Korra fighting Zahir, Pali fighting the Metal Clan and Beifong, and then we have Tenzin, Asami, Mako, and Bolin trying to get out of the temple with all that lava coming at them. It was really great. Number 6, Zuko's first appearance since Avatar: The Last Airbender. I really like how they brought him in this season, and how he was resolving this conflict with the Red Lotus. And yeah, I'm just really glad that Zuko finally showed up. Number 5, Team Avatar frees the Airbenders in episode 4 in Harm's Way. I really liked this moment. It was a really great moment. There was really two battles going on here. Korra freeing the Airbenders and fighting off against the Dai Li, and then you have Mako, Bolin, Jinora, and Kai fighting off against the two or three Dai Li agents down in the tunnels. I really like those moments when they show two action scenes. It just really makes it even funner to watch. Number 4, Mako and Bolin versus Minghua and Gazan, round 2. The first time they fought was in episode 9. They pretty much got their butts kicked, but episode 13 they really brought it. It was the redemption round, and they defeated Minghua and Gazan. Number 3, Team Avatar versus the Red Lotus in episode 4, The Terror Within. Yeah, I really like this moment. I think I've said this previously before in my review for the episode, and even in this video. I really like the action scene. It was just a really great moment, and even when Lin and her sister were jumped in on those cables, that was a really great sequence there. Number 2, the last 10 minutes of episode 11. Like I said before in my top 10 episodes, I gave this part of episode 11 too much praise, but I toned it down in my the second time I had watched it. So yeah, I really like the moment. We got that Tenzin versus Zahir fight scene. I even predicted it. And then we have Pali stopping the Airbenders from fleeing, and then we have Kaya and Bumi against Minghua and Gazan. And my number 1 moment, Korra versus Zahir in the season finale, episode 13, Venom of the Red Lotus. Really great action scene here. Reminded me so much of book 3 in Avatar: The Last Airbender, when Aang was fighting against Ozai. Ozai was running away, and then Aang was just really trying to kill him here, or really just going AWOL or ham on him. It was just a really great action scene. It reminded me so much of Avatar: The Last Airbender season finale. And that's it for my Legend of Korra Book 3 review. Now I'm going to tell you guys some of the things that have been happening throughout since Book 3 has ended. Right now, Book 4 is expected to release in Australia around January, February of 2015. So we might see Book 4 come out sometime earlier than then. I'm expecting maybe late October, November, December kind of thing. The title for Book 4 was released on Nickelodeon's Twitter page, and also on Korra Nation's official Tumblr page, and the title is Balance. And this is a really great title, considering that this is the last Avatar series, but you never know that this could be the last Avatar series. You know, the Avatar's duty is to restore balance, and this is a great send-off from the Avatar series. But like I said, you never know if, you know, Nick will decide to bring back Avatar. You know, like, the fans could protest, you know, saying, oh, we want Legend of Korra, or not Legend of Korra, another Avatar series, and you know, Nick answers those calls, and then Nick pays Mike and Brian even more money than what they were making when they were making Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. But it's really up to Mike and Brian. If they want to continue Avatar, they can. If they want to not, or they can pass it on to somebody else, then that's their decision. It's really their decision because they run the entire thing. Nickelodeon just says, oh, we want an Avatar series, and Mike and Brian can just say either yes or no. And there was a bit of a promo clip released teasing that book 3 will be airing on TV on Nicktoons, and in that promo there was 2 scenes of Kuvira that we've never seen in book 3, so obviously they're in book 4, or they could have been some deleted scenes, but I doubt that, so it's possibly in book 4, and they're showing her in some sort of menacing way, so we will see Kuvira in the next season, and she might even be the villain. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my book 4 news on the things that are coming up. But what do you guys think? Did you guys like Legend of Korra book 3? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I do a lot of updates there. Also subscribe to my other channel, Jedi Knight 450. I do a lot of fandom vids there. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.